11 is you have past, we have present, and then we have future availability for private tenants.
Okay. I guess the thought going through my head, and it may be crazy, but if all we're using is 2,500 square foot, we can use those county functions along with all the new co-located county functions over in the second floor of the Heritage Building, which will soon be vacant and available. Closer to the courthouse. Is that crazy,
No, that'll work. I think.
Sarah?
So you're saying to.
I'm
move
saying-
Everyone that is slated to the 311 over there plus.
That would be
our
difficult for
current
elections,
office?
though.
Yeah, and then part ways with that building.
I wouldn't say part ways with the building. We would have to get with Robin on the grant finalities of that.
Well, it was 10 year, I guess we would have to wait till 2027, but this is almost 2026.
It's not a bad idea, like in theory wise, to get renovations
Hello.
like, completed.
Oh.
I just wanna get some more detail.
It's nothing we've discussed previously and could be crazy, but what I'm thinking is if we could sidestep a $3 million renovation and sell the building for certainly seven figures and locate all of our county functions closer, co-located, and we have a use of the second floor of that building, which has also been a discussion. We kill 5 birds with one shot.
A reminder, though, is that you've moved all
The
the
records.
documents.
Okay, that is true, that is
311.
true.
That is a
But that's not,
separate
that's a
warehouse.
separate, that's not considered 311. That's LTRG.
Correct.
That's
And
not
it-
311.
True.
That
And-
is.
It is
And the
separate.
LTRG is eligible for the COs.
Yes.
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 And Judge, just to add to your second option about the Heritage Building, you also have a very nice building right next to us that needs finished out interior as well.
That's true.
That can be an option for county
Okay.
offices too.
That is true.
CO eligible, correct?
LTRG.
And you're
yes.
referring to the, you're referring to the fire,
Fire station.
Yes, sir. So,
that is true. And it could be a beautiful place.
Okay, I know John's head is probably about exploded over here as I've been mentioning this.
Yeah.
Nothing surprises about these
Just
conversations.
getting some Tylenol, he's fine.
Okay. Immediate steps, as we're in closed session, Chris, you and/or Madison can call Jay, try to get an answer on that one question. I don't know that picking our number here really precludes any of the options we're talking about. As I see it, we're a baseline of 12.65. The question is, what all do we want to add onto this? The 3 million for the 311 is not eligible to be added. So if in fact we were to sidestep that need, it wouldn't affect the amount we come up with here. So really, I'm seeing a baseline 12.65 plus whatever else we would want to add. I think certainly, we want to include everything we know we need to do and are gonna do, because we're not gonna be dipping into fund balance except on those things that we absolutely have to. So does that steer us to adding any more of these, Avery?
Yes, sir. So that.
What would that be?
That addresses my initial question on direction for the dominoes.
Yeah.
So if our office was to, from your direction, evaluate the use of Central Fire Station, which is county-owned building, that is in need of a use. We've already attributed funds in this CO bond for preservation of the exterior of the building envelope. I can see that it would be a very prudent move to evaluate the second floor of the Heritage Building and the Central Fire Station to accommodate, these county offices. So when we look at the bond total and we look at the 12.6, if we consider, a similar amount as to what would need to be in the 311 building, as to what would be needed for the fire station and the second floor of the Heritage Building, I think that, that's roughly a one-for-one cost, when we're talking about full HVAC overhaul, electrical improvements, interior remodel, to create those office spaces, and make the structure more habitable.
Sort of
Okay.
So if we're on the high,
Textual question for either John or Avery. How many times have we evaluated that second floor of the old firehouse?
I'm aware of at least 5 times.
Well, let's evaluate it again. A fresh
We
evaluation.
put a swimming
is
pool and everything.
Let me ask this, and changing gears a bit. Michelle, are there any, or Chris, I know we generally have a 60, 90-day look back on these COs. Is there anything eligible that we could encompass in this? I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but if there is, we would want to include that as well.
Nothing that I'm aware of. I think everything that we can spend on bonds, we're putting into the current bonds, trying to spend those. But I
Okay.
don't think there's anything that's eligible for bond money that we're not putting into the bonds already.
Okay. Okay. Another question too, there was some discussion, or at least, well, no, that's a bond attorney question. Okay. So where we're sitting at now, primary goal here, we need to come up with a number. I guess it doesn't have to be immediately, but with some calls, we need to know what number we're gonna issue here. And even though there's a lot of unanswered questions with a lot of these things, I don't think that really is too big a problem when selecting the number here. I mean, baseline 12.65, should it be a little higher, in my mind, is the question. A lot of these other things can be determined as we evaluate them. So the question now, what should the number be?
and Judge, I would urge you to consider, if we're reevaluating the central fire station, that this be a final reevaluation.
And
it would include, getting the entire building.
I'm not opposed to Sarah's concept mentioning that, but frankly, I think the second floor would be better suited for a host of different county offices than the fire station. Although we don't know yet what we're gonna do with it, I think that's better suited for a public-private partnership, some type of, a public-private partnership. The second floor is larger, bigger footprint, seems like it could be more readily renovated for office space.
There's about 5,500 square feet on the Heritage second floor.
It may just not be equivalent to the square footage you were gonna use in the 311 building for all of the offices. We could probably fit most of those offices,
Uh-huh.
but may not be all of those offices.
Okay, because although we only had a small footprint, the footprint was expected to significantly increase. Would it have surpassed 5,500 square feet? Okay,
With the common spaces,
okay.
Well,
especially.
I mean, our office is already 2,500, which is half of that space of
Uh-huh.
the second floor. So
Okay,
the auditor's office is gonna be about the same square footage, treasurer's as well, elections, so, I mean,
okay.
it seems like large space, but
Yeah.
it's heating up quickly.
No, I'm with you, I'm with you. So I see it as 12.65 baseline, plus whatever else we want to add. We do need to call the bond folks. I know we've got other closed session items to get to, which shouldn't be too lengthy. Are there any, my anticipation would be, we have our closed session discussion, come back, hopefully with a couple answers, and then have a consensus on what number we want to put in. Is there anything we need to discuss now before we do that?
Well,
Sure.
I recognize that there are some projects that we identified on here as a court that are under the low priority, and that number has been carried over into the proposed 2026 CO amount. And if you total those up, if I did the math correctly, it's right at 1.5 million. So there may be some future discussion on those lower prioritized projects, that if we truly want to include those dollar amounts in that CO number. So just something to think about.
I would also suggest to the court that they consider the domino effect of the Heritage Building. With all the records there, there is a timing associated with moving those creating the space in the LTRG building on the second floor, building those cages, securely processing those documents over to that location, clearing out the Heritage second floor. There is time and effort and money associated with doing that has to happen first before we can begin the renovation. So we have a 3-year window after you approve the court to do all this domino effective project concepts that we're talking about. So,
Well, I think on the second floor, at the LTRG, haven't we agreed on the cages being built? The same people that are doing the dog kennels are doing those? And we've already met with someone to move the documents. And I think we just need to fine tune what all the departments need moved and what they don't need moved and what they need shredded and what they need digital copies. When we secure all that information, I think we can move along with that pretty quick.
I
That's
just
my
bring it
thinking.
to the court, there is time
Appreciate it.
associated with that.
Yeah, I understand, but we kind of
I
got the
agree.
ball rolling on that a little bit.
John also does bring up a really good point about the records area. Since we had a brief discussion about the potential for selling the 311 building itself, I'd like to remind court that the electrical system and all of the IT infrastructure is located in the main portion of the 311 building for the LTRG space.
Okay.
It had 2 electrical services that were consolidated within the 311 space. And so if we sold the building,
Yeah.
all of our utility infrastructure.
So that would be a problem.
Yes.
Okay.
It could still be leased out to exclusively private tenants, but selling the building would be
Yeah.
difficult.
Okay.
Can I say one thing, if you don't mind? In light of all this, I was going to talk about it later, but being that we're having this big discussion, I wanted to go ahead and throw it out there now. I propose that, I know from our previous bond, communication, talk, everything, sometimes everything got lost in translation, or we didn't get enough answers, or 311 didn't get the answers they need, the court didn't get the answers they need in a timely fashion, and we got behind on a lot of things. And I'm proposing that we have a CO bond committee consisting of myself and Commissioner Garcia and Chris, Chief of Staff Chris, to be a go-between between 311 and the court, to where any issues or questions they have that we can discuss. This is not financial, this is actually construction. My concerns were construction. My concerns weren't numbers. We still need to go through your office and all this stuff. I'm saying is if 311, if there's issues either between the court or 311, that we had a committee where they could contact any of us, between the 3 of us, knowing what's going on. It is my suggestion to help this once it gets moved into place better. I don't know how Commissioner Garcia feels about it. I think we touched on it, but I don't know. Y'all feel about it? If you don't want to do it, that's fine. It's something that I feel like we needed, in my personal opinion, that we need a go between your office and 311, with all due respect, to where they
Oh,
can,
I-
where they,
If you think that would be in any way helpful, that would be perfectly fine.
But you wanted to do that, I guess, after we decide on a number, as far as
Yes, sir.
actually getting
Yes, sir.
the-
This
where
actually
the rubber
gets
meets
into
the
what-
road type of scenario.
yes, sir, to where there's issues, in all due respect, the judge's office doesn't care if a door is green or pink or purple or where,
Yeah,
what
that's
side of
a
the building it's
committee I
on.
I've heard
prefer
him
not to
comment
be
on it one time.
associated
I don't
with.
And I feel like, in this conversation here is a perfect example. Because I know before we change directions on things, and on this one, once we get direction for John, Avery, and Sarah and everybody, that we need to stick to it. We need lighting fixed.
Holy cow.
Courtroom also.
They focus on that first, I guess. Now, Commissioner, I do agree with you. That would be good, because once we get all this hammered out, we need to have somebody I could point person kind of running point on it.
Repairing lighting in the commissioner's courtroom is CO eligible, by the way.
Did you add that to the list? All right.
Chris,
I am available to serve.
thank you.
All right.
We appreciate you.
So we're at 12.65.
Right.
The only
Still
question
remains.
is, does that need to go higher? We'll come back to that after closed session, I think.
Yeah, I think-
Is there anything else we need to immediately discuss pertaining to this?
I don't think
Okay.
so.
Okay, awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you very much, and, yeah, we do have some items we need to knock out. But we will come back to that. Yes,
Yes,
that is
thank
very
you.
helpful.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right.
Thank y'all.
Let's see here. What are we on, 20? Okay. We will move on to 20, that is to consider approval of personnel changes and take appropriate action. The only item we are adding to that, there is a salary order
Yeah.
that's not required under the law. However, for transparency and informational purposes, this is the state
Yeah.
salary or salary supplement that goes to county courts at law 1 and 2 and the county judge. That will be included in this approval as well. Do we have a motion to approve item number 20, personnel changes?
Second.
All those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item number 21, well, I'll need to sign that. Item number 21 is to receive for the record discretionary fund budget amendments and take appropriate action. Do I have those itemized in front of me? We had to change the way we're doing this due to the,
There weren't any discretionary budget amendments.
okay, I am seeing some here.
That's for the next item.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry,
for
Michelle,
20.
what?
I
That's
think
for
that was
22.
for the budget amendments you have are for 22, item 22.
Okay, so we have a receive for the record, and then we also have consider approval. So there's nothing that needs to be done on item 21?
That's correct.
Okay.
It's a standing item for now, since we have to follow the agenda.
The one of the
prior to
ways we're adapting to this new notice okay,
To receive it.
okay. Well, there's nothing, I guess, to receive, so we'll skip on 21, and on 22, that's to consider approval of 2025 budget amendments, and those are scanned into the
Yeah,
package. Yeah.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on item 22. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. All right, we'll all need to sign all of those. And moving on then to item 23. There are multiple things in closed session, although I don't think it'll take terribly long. Once we come out of closed session, we'll go back to the discussion on the CO amount, at which point I think there should be some consensus on what number we go with. Is it 12.65 or is it a larger number? But that'll be our sequence of events. So for the moment, we will take up item number 23, and that's closed meeting to discuss personnel in various departments, real property, economic development. We don't need, well, I'll include boards and commissions, and then also a private consultation with the county's attorney via phone, and we'll go into closed session for those purposes at 11:53 a.m. Here? All right. All right, we are coming out of recess.
Don't make me pick this up.
We're coming out of recess.
Are you talking to me?
I'm sorry, closed session at 12:42. As we noted previously, we're going to go back to, what item was that? Number 19, on the ongoing discussion about the CO issue amount. We obviously had this posted as a real estate discussion in closed session as well. Based on some of that discussion, it would be my recommendation that we put the amount as 14.5 million. And give that number to our bond folks to prepare the paperwork reflecting 14.5 million on the county side of the CO.
Okay. Need to make a motion for that, or are we?
You know, we might as well, just to demonstrate the consensus, all those, is there a motion to concur with that amount?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. All right, and with that being the last item of business, we will stand adjourned at
As
12:44.
self-appointed chairman of the CO committee, I need to speak with Avery and John after court.
I don't know that Avery and John want to speak to you
That's,
after court.
that's not their choice.
Well, then there's that. All right.